Teacher sues Olympian Ibtihaj Muhammad on hijab controversy. White House condemns Trump's anti-Semitic comments. Israel closes Ibrahimi Mosque to Muslim worshippers once again. Flood deaths hit 603 in 10 months in Nigeria, official says. NATO, Russia hold nuclear exercises. Top EU court rules workplaces can impose hijab bans. From Washington, D.C., this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hena Zuberi. Our top story tonight. Ibtihaj Muhammad, a Muslim Olympian fencer, is being sued for her Instagram post in support of a 7-year-old hijab-wearing girl. The story of the New Jersey girl went viral. She was upset that her teacher tried to pull off her hijab. The girl's mother recounted the story on Facebook last October. Muhammad denounced the act as abuse in an Instagram post that also went viral. A year later, the case landed in court. The girl's family has sued the school district and the teacher, Tamar Herman. This month, the teacher filed a defamation suit against Muhammad and the Council of American Islamic Relations in New Jersey and its director, causing irreparable harm. The White House rebuked former President Donald Trump on Monday for making anti-Semitic comments targeting Jewish Americans. Karine Jean-Pierre, White House spokeswoman, said Trump's comments were insulting to Jews and to the U.S.-Israeli allies. She added the ex-president has aligned with extremists and anti-Semitic figures for years. Trump claimed Sunday that Jewish Americans were not supportive enough of him and his policies towards Israel. Trump posted on his Truth Social platform, claiming no president has done more for Israel than he has. He warned U.S. Jews to get their act together and appreciate what they have in Israel before it's too late. U.S. President Joe Biden on Monday unveiled the now operational online portal for his student loan debt forgiveness program. His administration has pledged to cancel up to $20,000 in federal loans to some borrowers. Biden said it took an incredible amount of effort to get this website done in such a short time. The administration launched a beta version of the site on Friday. The official online portal, which is https:/student8.gov/welcome, is available to all eligible borrowers who want to apply for federal loan student debt forgiveness. More than 8 million people accessed the beta website over the weekend, according to the White House. Eligible borrowers must apply by December 31st, 2023. U.S. prosecutors on Monday asked a federal judge to sentence Steve Bannon, former President Donald Trump's longtime political ally, to 6 months in prison. The Justice Department said Bannon has shown defiance and contempt since being subpoenaed by the House committee investigating the January 6, 2021 Capitol attack. The committee sought documents and testimony on the circumstances that led to a mob attack on the Capitol and disruption of the peaceful transfer of power. It said Bannon touted the committee's authority and ignored the subpoena's demands. The 68-year-old Bannon was once Trump's chief strategist. He was found guilty in July on 2 counts of contempt of Congress related to his refusal to comply with the House subpoena. Israeli authorities on Monday closed the Ibrahimi Mosque in West Bank city of Hebron to Muslim worshippers. Yet Israeli forces allowed illegal settlers to visit the site. The Israeli army seals off the mosque to Muslims for up to 10 days a year during Jewish holidays. The site is revered by both Muslims and Jews. The mosque complex is believed to be the burial site of the prophets Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Israeli authorities divided the complex between Muslim and Jewish worshippers after the 1994 Ibrahimi Mosque massacre. That was when Israeli-American settler Baruch Goldstein murdered 29 Palestinian worshippers at the mosque during the month of Ramadan. The UNESCO World Heritage Committee in 2017 included the Ibrahimi Mosque and the Old City of Hebron on its World Heritage List. Flood deaths hit 603 in 10 months. Details come after the break. Stay tuned and we'll be right back after these messages.
A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today.
I am what hunger looks like in America.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
To stop this genocide, we need your help.
Welcome back. The death toll in Nigeria's floods hit 603, while roughly 2.5 million people have been displaced, according to media reports. Sadia Farouk, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, said more than 1.3 million people have been displaced by torrential rainfall and flooding. 30 of the country's 36 states have been affected, Nigeria's Daily Sun reports. Farouk said over 2,000 people suffered different degrees of injuries. More than 82,000 houses and over 800,000 acres of farmland have also been completely damaged by the flood. The government has activated a national response team in the affected states, she added. The Islamic Development Bank Institute won the Best Islamic Research Firm Award in the 2022 Islamic Finance News Service Providers Poll. Dr. Sami Al-Suwailim, Acting Director General of ISDBI, said the award is an acknowledgement of the hard and innovative work of his colleagues. The award represents a ringing endorsement from the global Islamic finance industry. IFN noted the research category was amongst the most hotly contested awards this year. This is the third successive year the institute has won this award. ISDBI is a pioneer in Islamic economics and finance. It has a track record of accomplishments in research, capacity development, and innovative knowledge solutions to sustainable development. 2 Rohingya community leaders were killed in a Bangladeshi refugee camp in what police are calling one of the worst attacks in recent months. More than a dozen people hacked the 2 men to death as security worsens in camps housing almost 1 million refugees. Farooq Ahmed, a Bangladeshi police spokesman, said that the Rohingya leaders were killed late Saturday at Camp 13. Maulwi Muhammad Yunus and Muhammad Anwar, both camp leaders, were the targets. A senior officer with an elite police unit tasked with security in the camps blamed the killings on the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army, a militia group fighting in Burma. The officer said targeted killings and internal clashes in Burma are affecting security in the camps. Saudi Arabia rejected U.S. accusations that it is aligning itself with Russia by making oil production cuts to drive up crude oil prices. The kingdom insists it was purely a business decision and has not attempted to side with Russia on the Ukraine war. The Saudi-led OPEC Plus cartel, which includes Russia, angered Washington by deciding to cut production by 2 million barrels per day starting November. The move has added further pressure on soaring crude prices. Prince Khalid bin Salman, Saudi defense minister, said that OPEC Plus decision was taken unanimously for purely economic reasons. Saudi King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, in a speech broadcast Sunday night, insisted his country was working hard within its energy strategy to support the stability and balance of global oil markets. The European Union's top court has ruled companies within member states can ban hijabs as long as it does not constitute direct discrimination. The ruling published Thursday by the Court of Justice of the European Union involves an ongoing dispute between a Muslim woman in Belgium and SCRL, a company that manages social housing. The woman was told during an interview for a 6-week internship that she could not wear hijab. This was because the company had a neutrality rule banning all head coverings. In 2018, the woman took the company to a Belgian court. The court later sought guidance from the top European one. The EU court said prohibiting the visible wearing of religious, philosophical, or spiritual signs does not constitute direct discrimination if it is applied to all workers in a general and undifferentiated way. NATO on Monday began an annual rehearsal for nuclear war in Europe. Meanwhile, Russia prepared to conduct its own nuclear drill. Cold War-like tensions have been inflamed by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Peace advocates are underscoring the imperative for de-escalation to avert a catastrophe. The International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, or ICAN, warned against nuclear exercises. Such actions imply willingness to mass murder civilians, wipe out entire cities, and risk all-out nuclear war, the group warned. They also risk accidents and escalation and will legitimize Russia's dangerous nuclear rhetoric, it added. NATO said its exercise involves up to 60 warplanes from 14 alliance members. Russian forces are expected to carry out their own large-scale nuclear exercise along Russia's northwestern coast in the coming days or weeks. Coming up next after the break is our in-depth analysis segment, so stay tuned and we'll be right back after these messages.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour, walk a mile in my shoes, walk a mile in my shoes.
What was it like when you started this network out, when you started Sound Vision those many years ago?
You know, after 9/11, one lady called me and she says, what is your channel which I can watch? And I say, I'm sorry, we don't have a channel. And you know what she said? She said, then how America will know about you?
SubhanAllah. Anything you want to say to the people who are watching? That we had one sister who messaged that she grew up on Sound Vision. What do you say to the people who have been long supporters?
Thank you. Thank you. It is because of you we are able to do all of that. So the generation of Adam's world, you need to take it over for the next generation. And that's my invitation to you. To keep telling everybody where to watch. They can watch it on Galaxy 19 satellite, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or easy thing, muslimnetwork.tv, or our YouTube channel, or our Facebook channel. And with your help, inshallah, ladies, the one who called me, what channel should I watch Muslims on? Answer is here and now.
To stop this genocide, we need your help.
Welcome back. To talk about the developments in U.S. House Committee investigations, let's go to Imam Abdul Malik Mujahid. Over to you, Imam Mujahid.
Thank you, Hena. January 6th investigation continues in the court and in our House of Representatives and all around. But one of the phrases which comes out pretty large is the January 6th panel calling President Trump clear and present danger. And it is describing the threat posed by President Trump and his followers regarding our democracy and freedoms. We have a professor of American Studies and History, Scott Geck, with us. Welcome to Muslim Network TV.
Thank you.
So do you agree that Trump is the present, clear and present danger? There is a film on that title also.
Yes, there is a film on that title. It's actually a phrase from a Supreme Court decision that demarcates, right, the kind of boundaries of what some dangerous thing would be, a clear and present danger to the country. I just want to start before we head into the clear and present danger, just to say that Trump is not the first president to be called before a congressional committee. If going back in time, we have Nixon, we have Truman, then we have to go back a little further to Tyler and John Quincy Adams. Truman and Nixon did not comply with the requests. Quincy Adams and Tyler did. The idea of whether or not I agree of a clear and present danger is, obviously a little complicated. One, is he a clear and present danger in his current position as not being holding any office that we know of at this present time? And it's an interesting question. Is he a clear and present danger in office? That's a different question that the January 6th committee obviously has undertaken and has left us a kind of clear path to, I think, coming to a conclusion that yes, someone who operates kind of in a freewheeling manner with foreign leaders, someone who doesn't seem to uphold the Constitution first and the legal code first, thinks about ways in which he can fulfill his own personal wants and desires through the office, that seems to bend right towards a clear and present danger.
Share with us, anytime President Trump speaks up, social media on his side get fired up with the talk of civil war. So you being a historian and American professor of American studies, has the talk of civil war has been this loud in recent past?
Recent past, I think you would have to go back to a time I think that Trump often thinks back to, the late 60s and early 70s, to think of a moment in which the political divides are so stark and in many ways so violent, where rhetoric, even political rhetoric, can lead to people getting physically assaulted and hurt. I think that would be the most recent past. Obviously, there's a longer history that goes back to a civil war. And if you look at both of those, these time periods, or all three of these time periods, right, from the 1850s through to the 1960s through to today, you see this kind of increase in righteousness on each side. And so people become less willing to reach across divisions and listen to one another. They become more confident that what they believe is the absolute truth. And it becomes very difficult to have meaningful conversations and to move things forward in a positive way.
No, but it is not between just Democrats and Republicans. President Trump recently tweeted, well, he's not on Twitter, is he? That Mitch McConnell has death wish.
Right, and that seems to be right. That those seem to be his means and ways to try and retain his hold, his grip on the Republican Party. I mean, obviously, the January 6th committee has spelled the death of a political career for a longtime standing Republican, right? Liz Cheney, who is basically lost. She's lost her office. We don't really know what the future holds in terms of her political career, but for the time being, right, it's over as a result of standing up to President Trump's version of the events. Rather, I don't want to use the word truth because that can get a little muddy there, right? President Trump and truth, I don't know how well they mix.
So Mitch McConnell, does he need to worry? Should he need to get extra security around his house and where he travels? I mean, his wife has been attacked in the past as well. I mean, the clear and present danger to democracy. But here we're talking about people.
Yeah, and we are talking about people, and there are obviously a variety of people who are involved in these cases, whether they be the committee members that we just mentioned, whether it be Mitch McConnell who's being singled out, whether it be the judges who have been ruling in a variety of cases. In all of these instances, all of those persons, I would suspect that they have had serious conversations about personal security, and have made decisions one way or the other based on we only have a small window into what may be going on, but certainly being called out by President Trump does not tend to lead to good outcomes for the people who are named.
Now, CNN today has a video. I don't know whether they loaded it yesterday or this morning. It identified a former FBI agent who was convicted of unlawful entry to the Capitol on January 6th. And he's responding to a tweet of someone, quote unquote, lock and load on Twitter, and sort of, again, inferring to civil war and things like that. Do you think our law enforcement is doing enough to ensure that the people who are former military or current military and things of this nature, if election results are not accepted on an election night, some polling booth, firing starts suddenly because tension is already there. Do you think we as a society are ready for the law enforcement on the election night?
That's an excellent question, and there have been investigations into the U.S. military, and January 6th there have been investigations into National Guard and local police forces. There have been a significant number of law enforcement officers, both national forces and state-based forces, who have individuals who had participated in January 6th. And of course, that's extraordinarily disturbing, and I do think at this moment that there is a good focus. Again, I don't know how much we've actually seen in terms of outcome. We're only still just, I think, starting to watch these cases proceed through the court system. As they should, right? The courts should be operating here, and people should be getting arrested as we proceed constitutionally. Are we ready? Goodness, we are going to find out. I don't know that people are necessarily scared enough, because I don't know that we don't have a clear picture yet that Trump is going to run, and I think that's a big factor in how scared we should be.
Professor Gag, is Trump the only threat to our democracy and freedom?
there's a kind of a fine line with democracy, right? It's about empowering people, and there's a long history, particularly of white empowered citizens in the United States, taking the law in a variety of ways into their own hands, whether that be to disagree with national government in particular. You could go back to several instances of militias battling out with the national government in the United States in the last 10 years, such as the takeover of the Malheur refuge out on the West Coast. So there's always, again, this really fine line between empowering people politically, channeling that through a representative government and voting, and watching that sometimes turn to violence, where people's right to have guns and to use them, is protected, and they will apparently use them.
The last question I'll have with you, considering you are a historian as well as professor of American politics, American studies, Republicans and Democrats, considering these are the two polars, do you think their tension will encourage more people to declare themselves moderates?
I think there are a lot of people really searching for moderate voices at this time. I think there is a feeling that on the left that moderate candidates cannot get through the Democratic primaries, and that only the most radical come out of the Democratic primaries, and on the right, it seems that only people who disavow results of an election can get through the process. So is that enough, right, to bring moderate voices, or even a third party? It seems like if now's not the time, then when would be?
Well, thank you so much, Professor Scott Gag, for your time.
Thank you.
Back to you, Hena.
Thank you so much, Imam Mujahid. That's all from our Washington studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can find previous episodes and more on our YouTube and Facebook. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Assalamu alaikum and good night.